Hello, this is Soundout here, back with another DC Universe Signature Collection review. Today we have the Club Infinite Earth's February figure from Matty Collector, the Phantom Stranger. The Phantom Stranger is a character that's been in the DC Universe for a long time now, and has never had a true secret identity or a real origin/backstory. We've only gotten bits and pieces here and there, until the New 52 Phantom Stranger comic, which I would definitely recommend reading as it is very good. Now, the Phantom Stranger has become a character that it's probably one of my favorites from DC. He's definitely somebody I think is really cool, and I think the air of mystery around him really adds to the character, and especially the New 52 series with the new origin details we've got from him. So, I was very excited when Mattel announced that they would be making a figure of the Phantom Stranger, and I am excited to bring him to you today. Now, I want to start doing this new thing with the Signature Collection reviews, because if I'm going to be doing this once a month, I don't want to waste your time by going over the packaging so much. So, standard white mailer box is typical, and now it says Phantom Stranger. The interior box is the same as St. Walker's, aside from, now this is the Phantom Stranger, and you now have the really awesome Phantom Stranger artwork, the new portrait for the character, which looks really nice. Now this is a pre-New 52 bio, so it doesn't have any of those details that would spoil the New 52 Phantom Stranger comic. Real name, none. Long ago, a man committed unspeakable sin in an attempt to satisfy his incredible greed. As punishment for his crimes, he is cursed to walk the earth for all eternity as a stranger to man and a witness to the destructive nature of greed. Keeping a vigilant and watchful eye on the happenings of the universe, the enigmatic Phantom Stranger is forbidden to interfere. However, during world-threatening crises, the seemingly all-knowing being has been known to appear and sway heroes towards the path of victory. So the Phantom Stranger is very cool. But yeah, nothing else to say about his packaging because, well, you have seen it already. So, how does the figure hold up? Here is the Phantom Stranger. And I'm very impressed. It is your typical guy-in-suit figure that you could say is not really that interesting because it's just a new version of the suit body. But the suit body has only been used a few times. It kind of originated with the Joker in Wave 10 of DC Universe Classics, but really started to come together with the Club Infinite Earth's Black Mask, who actually had a closed jacket like you see here. But the Phantom Stranger does take and add some new things. He seemed like a really easy retool figure, but you'll be surprised at how many new parts are actually here. The biggest standout part you see is that you can't really see his face. The way they sculpted the hat, it looks very similar to the Question's hat. And if I knew where Question was on my display, I'd get him. But, oh, there he is. It's actually different as far as I can tell. The Question's hat did not have such a wide brim, as you can see here. Their hats are different. It's similar shape, sculpt, color, whatever, but they are different. And the neck joint is angled automatically at this downward angle to where you can't see Phantom Stranger's face. And the light casts a nice shadow on top of it. And so you can't really see the top half of his face, which is perfectly appropriate. Now, if you do tip his head up a bit, you can get in and see that he does have the pale white eyes, and he has the hair. But for the most part, they designed the head sculpt and the neck. I don't know if it's so much. I think it is. Yeah, it is the neck. The neck plus the head sculpt allows for him to always be looking down, and the shadow to be cast across his face. It's a really nice effect, and I like it quite a bit. Now, the suit jacket, the pants, the shoes, and the arms, it's what we've seen before. It's pretty standard. Now, the inside of his shirt is new. Again, the new neck that has him pointing down, and of course the cape, the chain, and surprisingly the hands. Now, it was originally seen to be the same hands we've seen on Metron and the Spectre and Eclipso, but they are gloved like they should be. They have the glove molding on them, so it's a similar sculpt, but it is a glove now instead of a plain hand. It's definitely a different type of glove than the Spectre's, who is a clean glove, not with the lines in it like this one has. So that is really nice. And the other really nice part is his cape here. His cape is nice. It's blue. It doesn't drape over his shoulders. Now, that's a thing that the Phantom Stranger always had, was the draping over the shoulders thing. Now, you can't really recreate that, but this is good because if you didn't, then pretty much this is his articulation. So he can kind of move his hands out. And the Phantom Stranger really needs these wide gestures, and that's why his hands are sculpted that way. So it's really nice. Now, it is pegged into his back, and it is also secured with this nice metal chain on the front. Speaking of metal chains, his coin, it's been interpreted in many ways over the years, and you can take it off of his neck if you wish. I don't want to, because getting it back on looks really difficult. But it is a nice metal chain, and you do have the medallion on here, which looks really nice. Now, there's multiple stories behind his medallion. The one I like, which is the most common one, is that it is his payment for his unspeakable sin, and he's never able to pay it back, and so he carries it around his neck as a reminder of that. So articulation-wise, his head's a bit limited, again, to keep that nice shadow over his face, which looks really good. He's got outward shoulder movement. He's got the 360 shoulders, a little bit up of the suit jacket. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got the elbow joint. He's got really nice wrist swivels for a hand mold like this. I'm quite surprised. He's a waist joint. He doesn't have an ab crunch joint. I don't think they molded one in for the new upper torso. His legs move out, forward, back, and he's got a rotation and a knee and an ankle pivot. But really, if you know anything about Phantom Stranger and know how you're going to pose him, for example, I shall pose him with the Follow the Stranger type pose, and maybe partially draping back his cape, or keeping his other arm kind of hidden or behind him, which kind of looks weird, so I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. But he really looks nice when you put him in a pose like this, where he's just beckoning you towards him, to follow him, to complete whatever task he needs for you to do, or for what you need done, that he will guide you to. Overall, a really, really nice figure. I'm really surprised at how Matty Collector still has seemingly surprised me this year with what seemed like obvious retooling and swapping of parts turned into really nice figures. This is the second figure of the year, and Saint Walker, as I said in my review of him, was really surprising in how many new retool parts there were. And the same is true for the Phantom Stranger, and it really makes me excited for what we have coming up. Now, if everything goes well, our next figure shall be Elongated Man, one of the more popular and more anticipated figures of the line. And he's going to be coming with a lot of new accessories. So, even though the 2012 sub did not sell as well as Mattel thought, and said that that was going to hurt the 2013 sub because of that, I don't see it yet. What I've seen so far is a lot of solid figures, and for the rest of the year, it should be pretty good. I'm really impressed so far. We're not getting as many oversized figures. We're just getting 12 regulars, and one oversized being Monsieur Mala, the club exclusive. But what they're doing with the retools is really surprising, and I expected this figure not to be as interesting as it was. But I think really, if they had just done it like this, but his head was still up and it didn't cast the shadow it does, it would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been as good as it actually is. The shadow that casts over his face really sells the figure, especially in certain lighting situations where you can still see the white eyes kind of peering through the shadow. Really, really nice figure. Now, it is sold out through MattyCollector.com. You can still get it from places like eBay and Amazon. They may not have it quite yet, but they should be having it soon. And if you can get this figure for a good price, 30 to 40, then definitely get it. This one is worth your money tracking down. While Saint Walker may be a more dynamic figure in terms of looks and posability, this is definitely a more subdued but really effective figure in what he's doing. If you like the Phantom Stranger, if you know who he is, if you're impressed by him in Batman the Brave and the Bold, this is definitely something to pick up. It's a good representation of the Phantom Stranger, and the new parts really sell it. So stay tuned for next month when we review, like I said, Elongated Man, if Mattel doesn't delay anything. And be sure to stay tuned for more reviews here on Soundout 12 YouTube channel. And be sure to check out Hirotaku.com for comic books, comic book news, reviews, and more, along with many other things, including tokusatsu, science fiction, and anime. Until next time, this is Out saying goodbye.